Hello and welcome to Mike and Vittorio's Guide to Parenting.
Yeah, well, lad, you're in bits.
I'm not in a good way, Michael.
I came in today, and when I walked in the door, I genuinely thought you'd been like bet up. I thought
Bet up?
Yeah,
Beaten?
Yeah, but it was in
even
bed.
in my hungover state.
Don't even try. Don't even try at me now, lads. I'm not even joking. If you're gonna come in with that fucking energy, you look like shit.
Yeah.
You've made a fool of yourself at the Chortle Awards last night. That's what I
The
heard.
Chortle Awards?
What the fuck is it then? What is it?
The Chortle Awards.
Did you say Chortle?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off, lad.
You said Chortle?
You've gotten very badly influenced by this country.
Chortle.
It's not.
It is. Is this couch wonky as well? No, it's all right.
I think the couch is fine. I think you're the issue in all regards today. What are you doing? What are you at?
Could you stand up momentarily?
What the hell? Trying to look at me arse or something. What are you doing?
There we go.
All right.
That's better. We weren't perpendicular.
I don't know
And
what that means.
Stressing me out at a right angle.
Right.
I'm not well, Michael. I've had a late one.
Yeah.
And I rarely have late ones.
Your eyes look mad and your face looks as evil as like it's matching your soul. You look like when Anakin Skywalker, I think we talked about you.
With the scar?
Huh? Yeah, you just look like fucking, or like Potter in later episodes when he kind of goes a bit fucking, when he goes a bit kind
when
of.
he's carrying the Horcrux.
That's right.
Or Frodo when he's been carrying the ring
You've
for too long.
been carrying the ring for like a year, lad. You look fucking disgraceful.
Did I look really? Because that was the only time. Because my girlfriend's been ripping into me all morning about being hungover and.
I thought she might have hit you, lad.
Yeah, you both gave it to me with all 4 barrels.
Yeah.
When you arrived, so you unleashed a nastiness in her that I don't see very often.
I activated nastiness in her, and it's one of my proudest moments to see her really have a go at you, really have a go at your character, and it's so deserved. You know,
just because I had a few pints last night, and
you were meant to get up and run lines with her. She told me for her actress job.
Yeah,
yeah, and you didn't. You sat in bed and ate a Subway in your pajamas. Like,
well, I sat in this because I didn't
like a bum, quite frankly.
I slept on the sofa because I didn't want to rouse her and ruin her sleep.
You didn't want to arouse her.
No, I didn't rouse her. I don't
think you have any problem with that. I think that ship has sailed, old friend. I could see it in her eyes. No lust in her eyes for you anymore. It's gone. Sailed away. Over. Done. It's like a desert down there. Nothing grows.
I mean, my whole body's dehydrated right now. I feel like my skin is cracking around me.
Yeah.
I feel terrible.
And you look terrible. And this is how I always, like, because you do usually, like, you look, the TikTok girls they love you. And it's all, they've all got, pictures of you stuck
they've all
onto
got
their
brain
vaginas. But now you look like what you are. That's what I feel like. This is you, like, kind of like,
my shadow self has become physicalized.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Looks wild. How did you become such a... what was the boozy Susiness about last night? Like a little sucky calf. Up at the bar, sucking whiskey.
I went to the Chortle Awards.
Yeah.
And having just signed with an agent, I have been trying to get all the free drinks out of them that I can.
Yeah.
So they had, what the fuck's the door buzzed for?
Holy hell.
I'm going to ignore it, but then it'll just go again. But maybe I should just ignore it. It'll just be a parcel. They can just buzz someone else.
They can buzz someone else.
I think that'll be okay.
Yeah.
So they had because...
You're trying to rinse your agents for fucking booze and drugs.
Yeah, but they can't do anything for me anymore.
Oh, you're such a nasty piece of work. It's
well,
unbelievable.
What are they going to do? Put me on Richard Osman's House of Games?
I don't know what that is.
Exactly.
But sounds like somewhere I would like to see you.
But like, there's no launch to be launched.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what's it? Agents are obviously maybe used. Oh my God, my voice.
Your voice is gone. It's very irresponsible that you've shown up to the pod like this, by the way. This only our 5th episode, and you've already turned up like a fucking cum rag.
You turn up like this every week.
Absolutely do not.
And you are reveling in the fact that I'm not the hungover one.
I've been meditating several times before some episodes. I've been coming in like a fucking mental ninja, able to fucking float spoons with my mind. And look at you.
I couldn't float a fucking helium balloon.
Absolutely not. Oh, speaking of those balloons, and we're going right back to your hangover. That's not been going off. But you seen this balloon? The Chinese James Bond is a balloon.
Yeah. So I've seen it tangentially. So there's this like hot air balloon. In that's floating over America, and the Chinese have said it was a weather balloon that went off course. And people don't believe it, and some people think have they shot it down yet?
They shot it down. Yeah.
Fuck me.
Poor old fucking innocent
Phileas Fogg. Just trying to get around the world.
And they fucking shot him down. Chinaman, boom. I'm no Chinese, shut up. Chinaman. I think American, they're just like, all balloons are Chinese.
Phileas Fogg.
Huh? Phileas Fogg. That's nasty again. It's the hangover.
That's there was a worse one in my head.
Was there?
Yeah.
Say it.
Phileas Fogg.
What? Furious? Yeah. What the hell does that mean?
Japanese people do R's instead of L's. Phileas Fogg.
Come on. I know you're hungover, but this is really...
I get very anti-Asian when I'm hungover.
Yeah.
It's terrible stuff.
I get it when I'm at like the peak of my health. That's when I hate them the most. When I've had a really good night's sleep, I've meditated, and I've eaten healthy, I'm just like, what the fuck are they up to over there?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be funny if you did loads of self-improvement and self-help and self-care, and you realised that you at your truest potential doing jumping in like a cold shower every day and like doing press ups, and you're in the best shape of your life, you're intermittent fasting, you're doing all this stuff, and then for some reason when your hormones are all cooking as best they can, you're just so racist. You're like just this jacked racist
That's
guy,
right. Yeah.
Where you're just like, wait, why?
Yeah.
And you have to keep yourself fat for the sake of because you're a very powerful racist, because you can kill.
That's
because
right.
you go to jiu-jitsu 3 times a week. But you don't call it jiu-jitsu, you call it fancy wrestling. Yeah. Because you refuse to give Asians any credit for anything they've ever made.
Yeah. Do you know what, lad? That what's interesting there is that concept that it might be a good idea to fog your mind with like booze and bad food and shit, because if you are to clear the fog, what's left is a raging cunt.
Well, this is the thing. If you never fulfill your potential, you can always believe it's bigger than it is and better than it is.
Yeah.
I think everyone's potential is. Because once you clear your mind, you can see the statistics for what they are.
Like as in World War II, 6 million? And it's like,
seems
very high. The books were cooked.
Yeah. It's
they weren't the only things cooked. Cutting that. We can't keep that in, because I want a career.
In what?
Huh? I don't know, actually, lad. I might get a job in my local. There's a place, because you're hungover with booze, but I had a Spice Hut last night. There's a place called Spice Hut.
There's a lot of them.
Is there? That fucking saddens me.
Is this the Spice Hut where you've been graduating through the tiers of hotness?
That's right.
Have you got to hot yet?
No, he won't let me on to hot yet. I'm not ready.
That's so sad.
And it is sad. But I went in there last night. It's about like 10:30, and I was feeling sorry for myself. And I was like, I was gonna get just the meat, because then it's not like as bad, because you're not getting fries and the bread. And then I get a wrap.
I get a tortilla rather than the flatbread. I think that's better. Yeah, I get a chicken doner wrap
in a Spice Hut.
Yeah, it depends. Actually, in a Spice Hut, I would get like a chicken burger with chicken wings and all that bad stuff.
I think you're way off base with that.
Maybe
honestly.
There's different Spice Huts. Maybe there's more than one type of Spice Hut.
I'm hoping, because I feel like I want this not to be part of a chain. I want this to be the boys' own
Blue
thing.
background, red text.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Fuck!
There's one just down the road.
I kind of had in my head it was their family business, and they had,
It probably is.
got over here in a little
It's
container,
their
and half
family
their family died.
franchise. They own the franchise, and they've worked hard to buy the franchise.
Right. Well, I had this spice hot. I ate it in, and I got the 3 dips. So the spiciest one, the shit I took this morning was a horror.
Oh,
But
there, yeah. They're spicy shit.
Rasty, nasty, rotten.
Did I tell you I found out there is taste buds on your ass?
Oh, did you find that out? What?
So I had a theory that I'd concocted based on similar experiences to the ones you've had, whereby your shits can be spicy.
Right.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So my logic was, well, how do we immediately know that that's spicy? There must be taste buds on your ass.
That's what you thought.
Well, yeah, because how else would you know it's spicy?
Because it's hot.
It's not. But
It's
not,
heat. You
it's
don't
not
burn your hand and
temperature.
be like, I've got taste buds on my hand.
It's not temperature. It's spice.
You're right.
So I Googled, do you have taste buds on your ass? And it turns out that technically no, but sort of yes. Because the receptors in your mouth that record spice aren't your taste buds. It's like an acidity and like it's a separate sensor, like sensory thing. And you have the same sensory things that record spice that are in your mouth, the exact same on your asshole.
In your asshole. Is that why people like eating ass? No, that wouldn't make sense. But
I guess having their ass eaten
there is a
feels
tongue.
like kissing. Because they've got taste. They're tasting the person's
They're
tongue
tasting the person's tongue.
on their ass.
Wow, that's right. Have you've not had that done? Have you? No.
I won't let her look at my ass.
I just wouldn't let someone down there. I feel it'd be rude. It'd be like
I've never looked at my asshole. I don't want anyone else to look at it either.
You've never
Some things should remain unknown.
really
Yeah.
parts unknown. Anthony Bourdain killed himself. What do you think of that?
Good.
Good. But I feel like inviting someone down there, it'd be inviting someone to like a room that you've just been, doing coke in for fucking a month. Like it's just, I think it'd be rude to like invite someone. That's the worst part of my body.
It's very vulnerable, I guess. So you have to let people into the worst parts of yourself at some point to forge connections with people.
So you're saying I should?
If there's anyone you want to make a connection with, at
I haven't met anyone yet.
Networking events.
Really?
Yeah, your agent goes, you should go to this and like try and connect with some people.
And then you just squint, your legs are up in the corner. You have a little stand.
At the Chortle Awards.
Yeah. I'm networking. I'd like to be on live at the Apollo. If anyone, I'd like to do Taskmaster, please. If anyone would want
Your task, if you choose to accept it.
Vittorio told me there's taste buds down there. He Googled it. Remember Vittorio? Didn't win the Chortle Award, Breakthrough Award. Remember him, that loser? Yeah. Anyway, anyone wants to eat my ass, I'd like to have a career. And this is the lowest point in podcasting history. Like this is the point of podcasting where people just this will be like the before and after, and that's when people kind of start moving away from the art form.
You're giving us a lot of credit there.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You're creeping closer and closer.
I know.
And you barely moved. Every time I say it, you move, but don't. You go like this.
I'm like a glacier. I'm glacial in my movement towards you, but I will be upon you.
Consume me eventually.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And then, kind of consume you into me, and then imagine how powerful I'd be then. Because your strengths are my weaknesses,
What do you think those are?
Your strengths are being like...
Autistic.
Yeah, I don't have any of that. It's a weakness.
You got non-autism.
I've got 0% autism, and it shows, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah, you've got an embarrassingly small amount of autism.
Yeah.
Have some self-respect. Be a bit more autistic.
I know, I'm going around like a fucking idiot making eye contact with people. Like,
Boo, people don't like that.
People really don't like
nowadays,
it.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're just focused and like smart at life. I'm like, you know what I mean?
I don't feel smart at life. That's part of the hangover. I feel like I regret every decision I've ever made.
Was it worth it now? Do you feel like was enough? Because I feel good about a hangover if enough good memories were made. If I danced with the devil, but then I also like, had a midget eat my ass behind the bar or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I had some really fun conversations, got to know some really cool people. I also got to observe a woman who just started for a comedy booking company called Mirth Control.
Oh, yeah?
Which I only got the pun of yesterday.
Mirth Control.
Yeah.
Yeah, birth control, right?
I only got that yesterday.
That happens to me a lot of times. I get a very delayed understanding of puns. Could be years later.
I think
feel.
that's a mark of good character.
Yeah.
That it takes us long to get puns.
Because I think that's my brain saying, fuck that, I'm not engaging with that.
Yeah, like your subconscious sees it and goes, you don't have time for that kind of nonsense.
No, fuck that.
Yeah, terrible stuff. But, so this woman who had just started at Mirth Control was flying around the Chortle Awards with the most aggressive networking technique I've ever seen in my whole life.
In the air, just, who wants to taste it? Mirth Control. 2 licks for one.
Okay, you're peaking.
All right, I peaked. I shouted too much.
I turned us up from last time and I regret it.
I shouted too much and I hurt the technology. Like the recorder was like, fuck.
The recorder's hungover as well.
Oh, it's the worst podcast to work on. She was going round.
She was like the Tasmanian devil of networking. She was flying around and just...
What was her name? Do you remember her name? Yeah. Name and shame her.
Her name was Ava.
Ava, I hate the water. Just come around like Tasmanian devil.
And she just would, she would just walk up to like groups of people.
Yeah.
And go, are you stand-up comedians?
Yeah. At the Chortle Comedy Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're astronauts. We're just heading to Mars there.
But she walked up to Steve Bennett, who runs Chortle, and said, are you a stand-up comedian? And he said yes, and like led her on for 25 minutes.
That's your
like,
the reviewer.
Yeah, who runs Chortle.
Yeah. Notoriously
It's his
stinks.
awards ceremony.
Yeah.
That he puts on.
Right.
And she was like, are you a stand-up comedian? He was like, yeah. He's like, where are you based? And she was just running around making a dick out of herself in front of everyone. It was so funny.
It's great. It's hard to see when someone really fucking over networks and really just misses the shot. And they're just...
But then she got angry towards the end of the night because people were starting to be like, no, I'm not going to...
I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. And... she'd be like, why are you being so rude to me? And it's just like, whoa, like she really turned on it. But she was steaming as well.
Right.
It was really, that was really funny to see. I enjoyed,
you enjoyed seeing
that was worth staying out for.
A vulnerable woman on her own.
Yeah.
Fail.
Yeah.
Drunk. Alone.
She was so rude.
Huh?
She was so rude.
Are all women rude?
I kept offering to introduce her to more comedians.
Really?
So I'd like walk her up to groups of people that I wanted to piss off and just go, you should meet Ava.
Yeah.
That's fucked off.
That's actually a fun thing to do, is kind of to like walk a nightmare around a party and then just place a nightmare into a fresh group. Have you met Ava and just kind of insert her in like a hot bag of dog shit in a brown paper bag, just kind of put it in, and everyone else be like, oh,
just light it on, like, these guys are brilliant comics.
Yeah.
Just
light a bag of dog shit on fire and just push it. There you go now, lads. There's 20 minutes of your night ruined. You know, I love that. Just shove them in.
Other moments from the evening, I had a moment where my ego got a little bit checked.
Yeah. Now this I like.
Well, I mean,
I'm going to taste this with my ass this moment.
The big ego check was losing the award.
You lost, lad.
Always the bridesmaid. That's now my thing.
Yeah.
Nominated for 2, 1, 0.
You keep losing.
Yeah.
In every sense.
All I do is lose no matter what.
Yeah. You do, dude. You stink, lad.
Yeah, terrible stuff. So last Friday I put my Comedy Store London tour show on sale and I was really excited. And it sold really well in the first 3 days. I was like, fucking buzzing.
Get to the bad part.
And the owners and runners of the store were at the Chortle Awards.
Yeah.
And I went up and I was like, I just went up and be like, all right, lads, I think some part of my mind was expecting them to go, nice one on the tour sales, that's really cool. And they all just went, all right.
Right.
And I was like, oh, like they didn't mention it, but I couldn't really, and then I tried. It was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
I was like,
you tried to bring it up.
I was like, oh yeah, just announced the tour show. And they were like, yep.
So they knew it. They knew exactly what you wanted. Little fucking hungry.
I just wanted to be like excited with them. Like, we're doing a show together. It's your venue. It's my show. That's exciting and it's going well. Isn't that good?
Yeah, but lad, don't you know?
Yeah.
Look at your head.
Just
Look at yourself in the mirror sometimes. There ain't nobody who wants to
see me do
this.
well.
Like, you're not a fire that petrol needs to be put on. You know what I mean? Petrol needs to be put on this flyer. Low self-esteem. Put some petrol on that. Let them flame up. You're like, people are desperately trying. You're a burning building. People are trying to fucking put the fire out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So they see you coming up with your little head and they know it's sold well.
They're first responders.
Yeah, absolutely. Fucking absolutely.
Getting helicopters to dump big fucking
Just
tubs of
tubs
water.
of cum on top of you. Just tubs of fucking hot
it's always cum.
elephant cum
Michael,
on your head.
it's always cum.
Yeah, because it is always cum. This is life. And I've none in me. So I wanked twice last night after Spice Hut. Twice. Because I struggled to get to
Did you
sleep.
wash your hands beforehand? Did you just have spicy fingers?
And why would I waste my spicy fingers?
Have you ever
One in my bum, the other
I
on
want
my...
to taste it in my ass.
Absolutely. No, this has gotten crude, but I did... That's why I feel hungover, because I had the Spice Hut, and then I had two wanks, I had 2 goes at myself, because I couldn't sleep, so it was medicinal wanking.
Self-medication.
It was self-medication.
Yeah, self-care.
But do you know, so then this morning I'm waking up absolutely devoid of any libido or lust for life in any way. I'm just empty, fucking still pieces of Spice Hut and myself on me. And I'm just, you know, I don't feel good. Didn't sleep well.
You don't feel good?
Yeah, and then I was like, wow, but he'll be in good mood. He'll lift my spirits. You're literally...
I'm terrible.
You are truly...
It's been really terrible.
Yeah. You're a dementor, like from Harry Potter. You're like just...
No, I feel like someone who's been...
Demented.
Had to go up by one of the dementors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they sucked that little white ball out of my mouth.
White ball.
You know, just before they die.
Before Dementors die?
No, before when they're doing Sirius Black, when he's lying down beside the lake.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And then Daniel Radcliffe goes, Expecto Patronum! And then the big stag comes, but it's him from back in time. I'm really hungover.
Yeah. To be honest, I can't remember any of that, but I was just going to let you kind of fucking box yourself out on the ropes. I was just had my arms up. I was like, he'll tire himself out.
Homie, he's not going to get tired.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible. But I tell you what happened last night that I found very funny is you hadn't heard of Be Real this morning. I was telling you about Be Real because my notification
Is that a black
popped up.
comedian?
No, that's Be Real. Da comedian. The black comedians are always something. Da comedian.
I'm pretty sure there's an African American comedian called Be Real, but I'm pretty sure.
That's funny.
I'm very
Well, he's got an app now.
Yeah.
So it's basically this like new social media where you're supposed to like be real and like the truth. So it's like it flashed some notification. You got 2 minutes to take a picture of front camera and back camera, just like of whatever you're doing at that moment. And at the Chortle Awards, my category is the second category to go to get like announced the winner of.
Yeah.
And the winner is Alistair Beckett King.
A Protestant.
It's time to be real. So I just took a picture of the stage and me.
Yeah.
Immediately after I didn't win the award I was up for.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the realest Be Real.
Yeah.
This is exactly what this app is for.
And did you look miserable when you lost? Did you were you or do you do the Oscars thing? Do you know where everyone's just like, you're so happy? Were you happy for the guy that won?
No, I shouted, fuck!
Did you?
No, he wasn't there.
Was he not?
So many of the people that won weren't there.
To stand in like solidarity with Native Americans. or something
Yeah,
like that.
that's what it was. They said we were doing it on stolen land underneath Waterloo Station.
Did you know Marlon Brando did that? He wouldn't turn when he won for The Godfather. He wouldn't turn up, and he sent like some kind of an old chief up. Came up from his igloo. They're not the teepee.
Wigwam?
Teepee.
Or wigwam?
Or wigwam. But he
Man walks into the doctor's, he says, you know, sometimes I think I'm a wigwam, sometimes I think I'm a teepee. The doctor says, you're too tense.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's an
Yeah.
oldie. It's goodie though.
Yeah, my brain wanted to reject that pun, but unfortunately it got it.
Sometimes it's good to do a bad joke.
But your man didn't even show up.
So many people didn't show up. The Chortle Awards are very strange because on some, like, it is like the supposedly like the industry website, but it's like it's for the small, the lower end of it doesn't really interact with the big guys, the stars, the fucking celebrities, TV people. Even though, but there is a character of like a category of TV comedian, and none of the nominees were there, and I was just kind of like, what are they getting from this? Like, the nominees are like Bob Mortimer, Joe Lycett, Greg Davies, and
they didn't.
Catherine Ryan or something, and you're just like, of course they're not going to turn up to like a bunch of open micers, like new comics, people who just want free booze.
Yeah,
like they're of course, like some of them sent in videos. Dara O'Brien won an award for best tour and sent in a video from Norway being like, thank you for the award.
So what's that? Like, he had the best boss that went around. Like, what does that mean?
I don't know, Beth. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
mean,
mean,
you turned up.
Yeah, I wanted the free booze, and my agent's assistant kept being like, "Do you want another drink?" I was like, "Yeah." I didn't pay for a drink the whole night.
Well, don't be that proud of it. You just don't sound cheap. What were you drinking?
I started on Guinness and then went to Spice Drums and Diet Cokes.
You love a little spice drum, don't you?
Yeah, I think that's my drink of choice. What's your drink of choice?
Huh?
What's your drink of choice?
Whiskey,
spirit and mixer?
neat.
Whiskey.
Yeah, neat. Nothing in it.
What kind of whiskey?
Like a man, like someone who's capable of murder.
Do you think whiskey's a capable of murder drink?
If I drink whiskey neat, someone sees that, they're like, all right, yeah, I know who I'm not going to mess with.
I've started spoofing people in cafes where, you know, I don't drink coffee or tea, but in cafes I'll get a Diet Coke and a mug.
Yeah.
And I'll pour my Diet Coke into the mug. Looks like I'm drinking black coffee. Everyone thinks I'm cool, even though I'm a small boy
Black coffee
who's drinking fizzy pop.
Black coffee isn't cool.
Why not?
Huh?
Why is black coffee not cool? You're some kind of coffee racist.
No, because you're afraid of milk. You're afraid of milk. It's like people who are afraid of dairy. Get some milk in
Who are
it.
these people?
Huh?
You got some kind of conspiracy that
I grew up on
vegans
a dairy
are
farm.
afraid of milk?
Yeah. Well, I grew up on a dairy farm. That's our business. That's my livelihood. That's how we put food on the table. I see someone with black coffee, I'm like, grow up. Put some milk in it. Support
insult.
Irish farmers, you fucking coward.
Should I put milk in my Diet Coke?
Yeah. Put milk in everything. Put milk in your girlfriend. Put it everywhere you can.
You've got oat milk in your coffee this morning. How do you feel about that?
Do you know what? I needed to, because when your girlfriend was here, you tried to make her feel bad for giving dairy farmer oat milk, so I pretended like I was happy with it for her sake.
Yes, to protect her.
To protect her from you, her nasty, abusive boyfriend, who came home at 5 a.m. and pissed in her armpits. Both her armpits, yeah. No, I do not believe that black coffee, though. Black coffee to me is like really, it's kind of like it's a bit psycho-ish. But you know what I mean?
Closer again.
I did come a bit closer again, but I just strive for a connection. I'm telling you this, and I also, you will see that I have this haircut. I got
yes, you got a new haircut. I feel
Yeah.
like yes, talking about the Chortle Awards really put me into a bit of more hungover than I was already. Let's talk about this great haircut you've got.
It's not a grey haircut.
I know.
Not. I don't think you do know, and I
got him.
And I think you would probably want to. You'd want to soften your cough over there because you're not in a good position. If I were to decide, like I've mentioned on this podcast before, to end your life, you have very little energy and you're very hungover and you're very vulnerable to that today.
My reflexes are not in a good way.
No. So I go into the hairdresser, and the thing is, I've gone this guy. I have this guy I go to. It's across the road from me. This is a good man, big heart.
Where's he from?
One of the Turkish places.
The Turkish countries.
Well,
I know what you mean.
He's Middle Eastern.
I know what
he's a Middle Eastern guy. I don't want to ask him that. But our relationship is mainly non-verbally. He's very kind eyes, and there is a feeling that he is affectionate to me, and maybe like that we kind of like love each other, like not in like parents or like a relationship, but like I feel there's this thing. Anyway, I went. I went.
Feel that with a lot of people, don't you?
I'm so desperate.
Everyone's your dad.
Everyone's my father. Yeah, and I could lad. It gets me into trouble. But that's not funny part. There's a cruelty to you today, and there's a meanness.
Yeah, there's no filter.
There's a lust for pain. But don't laugh like that again. See that laugh you did there? I haven't heard that before, but it's so rotten. I can't. That's like you're just pissing in my ears with that laugh. You're like taking a bloody diarrhea shit in my ears with that laugh, and I won't stand for it again. Don't ever laugh like that again. Right? What are you doing now? Don't cover your face. Let them see you. Let them see this fucking rotten, evil, now tomato red head. This is what you did. Let them see you in your fucking most vile. Look at them. Look at them. This is what you've become. This is what you've done to yourself. Now listen to my haircut story, you cunt.
Stern.
Right. I know, but listen. Why can't you be my father? Anyway, you never hug me. You don't. Anyway, before we leave today, you're getting a hug.
I
you
probably
don't
need
hug.
a
We
I
do
need a
like
hug.
this, I think, when we leave, generally. I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I'll see you later. But you don't even look like you're not even close to giving me a hug ever.
It is funny, to talk to somebody for 2 hours
Yeah.
and then go,
Yeah, because you don't. It's a real case of fuck off out of my apartment. No hug, no love. Now, today I'm getting it. Now, the hairdresser. Or I'm taking it.
The day I hug you is the day this podcast ends.
Well, this is going to be the last episode then, baby.
Baby.
Because I'm due.
This is the last episode today, baby.
I'm due.
I'm getting my hug, baby.
I'm getting my hug, whether you like it or not. I'm going, it'll be hug rape. Is that a thing? I wish I didn't say that. Again, I'd like if we cut that.
I had a thought of if 2 non-binary people are in a sexual assault case, is it a classic they said situation?
You know what? I think that's all right. I think that's the best thing you've said. I think they said situation is the best thing you've said.
I think that's a funny thing to say.
Yeah. And it shows me that even out of the most dire kind of swampish backwaters, a beautiful fish can emerge. I mean, my brain's not working well either, lads.
We're not firing on any cylinders.
I'm no
today.
cylinders. This is the worst
We're
pod.
firing on like triangular prisms, perhaps.
Yeah. This is just coming dust. You know, when you come and nothing, it's just like... This is just an 11-year-old who's learned how to wank and nothing's coming out.
It only took us 5 episodes to really run out of steam.
Run out of apps. It's just absolutely pointless garbage. Now,
haircut.
my fucking
He's
haircut.
a Turkish type fella. How much are you paying for a haircut?
Well, I'm going to get into this because this is actually part of it. So this guy that I usually get, the last time I went to get a haircut, he wasn't there. And I was like, you know what, I'm not going to get a haircut. But then it was New Year's Eve. I was like, I fucking need one. So I went and got one with his mate that's in there as well, also of Turkish descent. Again, around there. And so I went, big mistake. This guy does not love me. Didn't even pretend to.
The B team in the barbers is a tough situation.
Tough situation, but this guy, he wasn't even like. I had to tell him. Like he was like, he was doing my beard, and he was just. It was the most haphazard thing.
You've been shaped. Your beard's been shaped up ethnically.
Right, ethnically.
Yeah.
What?
Like they've done a funny gap above your lip.
Yeah.
And they've given you sharper lines than white folks normally have.
Yeah, because I asked for to make Islam it up. You know what I mean?
That's
make me look like I've been part of a beheading.
That's Pakistan's second city. Capital of Pakistan is Islamabad.
Yeah.
The second city of Pakistan is Islamabad.
Make me look like I'm from Islamabad.
Is he for fighting McGregor soon?
Who?
Khabib Islamabad?
Yeah. Think so. Again, this is, they can't all be bangers. Listen,
Should have quit at the Pakistan joke. Go on. So the B team of the hairdressers.
So anyway, he gave me
Robin.
So he gave
the Robin of the barbers.
Yeah, but he's not even a fucking assistant. He's the Riddler.
Alfred.
He's the Riddler.
Oh, he's a villain?
He's a bad guy. I'm not even joking.
Because the first guy, he's a good man. The first guy's a good man.
I told you, kind eyes, love in his heart, me and him have a connection. This second guy,
not even. He's the only person you don't want to be your dad.
Yeah, he was cutting my hair, and I could see he wanted to spit in my ears, but he held himself back. But anyway, so then so I'm like, all right, I'm never going in again. I'm only going to get fucking kind eyes from here on out. And anyway, so yesterday morning, I goes in. Anyway, kind eyes is in. He hadn't been in for a while. But so I comes in anyway, and I'm like, hey man, what's up? He was just like, oh hi. I was like, it's me, Mike. And he was just like start chatting to his mate, and I was like, does this mean nothing? Have you forgotten about what we were? I know. I swear to God, and I was like a bit hurt. Like I was like, all right. And he's like, you're looking for a haircut? I'm like, why? I'm not coming in here to apply for a mortgage. Why would?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, my haircut. And I'm trying to give him my kind eyes and smile to remind him of what we once were. But he's kind of just not. He's a bit out of it. But I can see he had a head on like you, just a head full of kind of sadness and regret. And he had poisoned himself.
He was going through something.
I feel like his son's in hospital.
Okay.
I don't even know if he has
a specific vibe to get off someone.
But that was my thing was, your son is terminally ill in hospital. I don't know if he has a son, but that's how I felt. So I was like, all right, let's just, let's not be needy here emotionally. But anyway, so he's cutting the hair, and even the way he's touching my head isn't the same tender way of old. And I'm like, whoa, this is kind of, I'm a little bit heartbroken. And then it comes to the end of the haircut, and he goes to part my hair the wrong way. So he's been cutting my whole haircut. He's been cutting
in a direction
to part it this way, but my hair doesn't part that way. And I was like, so he does it, and I'm like, lad, it's the other way. And he was just like, oh, sorry. He was like, oh, sorry. And I was like, sorry? You don't want your barber saying sorry or having to say sorry at any point. No, well, hopefully he's saying sorry because he said something racist, but I don't want anything.
Yeah, and of the hair stuff.
You don't want to be to do with the hair stuff.
Yeah, that's bad.
So anyway, he does that, and then...
But the damage is already... You are right, they cut it in a certain way to part it a certain way. Right. So the damage is done.
The damage is done. Like, my heart's been broken. My head has been sabotaged, He sabotaged my head. I have to do a podcast today. Everyone, they've been laughing at nothing we said.
Nothing.
Because this has stunk.
Just heads.
But just my stupid head. And then he did this thing because he was doing it the wrong way, where he's made me look as bald as I am. Whereas usually it's a case of it's smoke and mirrors. Let's see if we can push some hair forward to give the illusion that I don't need to go to Turkey in the next 5 years.
Maybe he works for the Turkish government.
Maybe that is.
Maybe Turkish barbers cut your hair to make you look as bald as you can possibly look.
So then
they get kickbacks from the clinics in Turkey.
That's the second best thing you've said.
That's such a good conspiracy theory.
It is a good conspiracy theory. But then we go to pay. The thing is, it's £22, right?
That's all right in London for a beard and a hair.
Beard and a head. He does head and beard. So the thing is, I've been giving him 25 because I've been tipping him £3. I've set that precedent now. But I don't want to tip him for this.
And also, he didn't remember you.
He didn't remember. He's acting like he doesn't know me.
Yeah, so there's no precedent.
He's acting like he doesn't care.
And so did you have because I would find that difficult to, even if something had gone bad, if I've established something where I was like, I would feel too bad about not tipping him, even though tipping should be for good service.
I gave him his blood money.
See, this I was going to ask, so you didn't?
I had to give it to him.
You did the 25.
His child's in the hospital.
Especially cash?
Yeah.
And because the problem is you would have to, it's not that you can give him 23, you probably were giving him 25 and would have had to wait for £3 change.
That's right.
Which is why they make it 22.
Yeah.
That's why barbers charge like odd amounts.
Is
because
that-
almost everyone will be like, just keep change.
Dirty
Because
bastards.
men love saying keep the change. It's such a cool, like, you feel so cool
Yeah.
when you go keep change.
I nearly did it in Lidl recently, but like for
That's
like
you can't, no.
for like 20 pence, and then I was like, it's just, you know, this kind of this
And it was just the self-service
older
machine.
Romanian
Self-service
woman.
machine.
It's just a self-service.
Keep it change.
Keep it, baby. Do you know what I was thinking about actually though? Speaking of Lidl, I thought the other day, because the workers in Lidl, I don't know if you grace Lidl much.
They're battle hardened in my experience.
I like them because I think they're in a good mood, and I'll tell you why. This is my theory. I thought this the other day, is because in a lot of these service industry jobs, so if you're working in Waitrose, right?
Yes.
There's a real fucking class divide. You know what I mean? You go in there.
The
it's-
clientele.
The guys going around there are doing well. They've got scarves. They're listening to audiobooks about how to increase their portfolio. They're, to put it politely, evil, rotten, nasty, dirty, smelly.
Money hoarding pigs.
Yeah, pigs. So they're going around, and you can see it in.
Yes.
You can see it in the staff that they're like, we're servicing these absolute fucking
Yes.
rotten bastards. And there's that kind of, and you can see they're kind of miserable. But in Lidl, when you're in Lidl,
They're doing it for the love of the game.
but they're in there and they're looking around at who's in Lidl, and they're like,
It's people who work in Lidl.
they're doing shit jobs too.
Yeah.
Like they're looking at you and they're like, okay, yeah, I have a shit job, but like you obviously have a shit job. And then they have this thing of like, I work in Lidl, but I don't shop in Lidl, so I'm probably, you know what I mean? So they feel
They
we're
feel
all in
all
the
right,
one.
and I also maybe feel like because those people are likely to maybe be working in the customer service industry, they're more likely to not be dicks to service staff.
Right.
So at the tills, they're not going, "Oh, that's the wrong thing. Can you go get me the better one?" Or like,
Yeah.
they'll just be like, like don't worry. Like they'll just be much more chill. Like I'm like any job I have done, I'm uber sound to that job.
Yeah.
If they're doing a half decent job, if they're fucking it, I do get it. Like if someone's doing bar staff,
Yeah.
and they're like so slow, and it's a busy bar.
You get mouthy.
No, I'm just internally furious.
Yeah.
But I'll give people a lot of leeway. But I'm just like, you gotta be moving. You know, if you work bars, you must have worked in bars.
Why would you say, what's that supposed to be?
You're a well-traveled fella. You're a man of the world.
Oh.
Let me tell you about Mike's life. They say he's a man of the world.
I did work I worked as a waiter, never as a barman really.
You'd be a great barman.
I think I would, but I do tend to buckle under pressure and I make a lot of mistakes. And I think that eventually would lead
You'd be
to
a great barman. Cloth in your hand, wiping down the bar.
That you're talking about
Guy
a cleaner.
asks for
I'd be good at cleaning.
guy asks for whiskey,
Yeah.
and you go, "What's troubling you, bud?"
Oh, I'd be good at that.
That's what you'd be
I
good
would
at.
be good at.
Although not based on any episode of this podcast.
No. Well, I'm
Anytime
giving
I have woes, there's a a gleeful spark enters your eye.
your sadness makes me happy, and I will, and I'm genuine. I don't think I'm alone in that.
There's so many people. Yeah,
Absolutely. And I think there's a lot of us in the same boat that it's like checking in on Angelone updates, and if there's a loss on the board, we're all wanking each other off.
I'm glad I didn't win the award last night because it was a victory for everyone else,
It was a victory for London. Yeah. It was a victory for the young people of London.
for the comedy community.
No, I know. On a serious note, no, but see, now with you, it's a case of, do you know, like the old thing of like the
My fucking. My voice is struggling.
with you, it's a case of the carrot or the stick. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing with you? Are we dangling a carrot of like, or do you just hit? You know, what do you react best in? I think you react best to
The stick.
the stick. To just
Yeah,
be
I'm a
hit with
stick. I'm a stick boy.
You're a stick.
I'm a
boy.
stick man.
Yeah.
Bowman 2.
Huh?
Do you ever play Bowman 2
No.
on Miniclip?
Nope.
Great game.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a bit old for it. You know,
Shut
video
up.
games?
What?
Video games?
I know what video games are. I just didn't. I was a sports man. I was more of an outdoors guy because I'm a pure soul.
Yes, rolling in poo.
Poo? I didn't roll around in it, but there did become a time where I did.
Smell of it.
Oh, absolutely. Smells
Eat
of it. Yes.
Drink it.
A lot of times it wouldn't have been liquid enough to drink.
Sell it.
I did try bringing
What's the
it to sell.
protocol with? So here's a poo-related topic that I was thinking of this week. I listened to a podcast. Have you ever listened to the In Our Time podcast on BBC Radio 4 with Melvin Bragg?
No, I'm not a virgin. So, I haven't done that.
So Melvin Bragg is
so.
very, very, very old, posh Englishman, and he starts every episode by going, "Hello, in 1856, the Great Stink of London," I love that he says hello, but it's like they're really tight, like half an hour, really informative podcasts. So he has to get straight into the information, but he's such an old, proper guy that he couldn't possibly start broadcasting without saying hello. So like every episode is, "Hello, in 1493, like it just straight into information. But I was learning about the Great Stink.
Yeah.
And like, I'll dip in and out of this podcast when it has a title that interests me.
That's what I called your Edinburgh show.
Yeah.
I've nothing else to say, carry on.
That's your Edinburgh show take of the week.
Yep. That's all play. It's called The Great Stink. That's what I've been calling it, yeah. Sorry, keep going, Vittorio, yeah. More about the play. Fascinating.
So, and I just, because it's such an academic and the most highbrow podcast I ever listened to when I try to pretend myself I'm an intellectual,
yeah.
To see an episode of it called The Great Stink, I was buzzing.
Yeah.
I was so excited to learn about, because it's going to be a real topic, but it's called The Great Stink.
Yeah.
So exciting. So in the 1850s, basically what happened was, so London was dealing with a lot of cholera, and it was basically like it's a waterborne disease, but people didn't really know anything, so they thought, and the Thames was full of sewage, and it's a tidal river, so the Thames doesn't flow through.
I wouldn't know.
It goes backwards and forwards,
Yeah.
like through London and back. So if there's sewage in the Thames, it's there, and it stays.
Nice.
So what happened was there used to be, and this seems like such a mad job. So people used to basically, when they needed to shit, go to their basement in Victorian times, and they would have like a cesspool, and they would shit in that.
That's what I call your show.
Okay, that's number 2 for the week.
Let's keep going.
How many are you allowed per week? 3?
I've decided 6 this week because of the condition you.
Is that across public and Patreon, or is that?
I'm going to try fit them into the public.
Okay,
but if
the more people that hear them, the better.
That's right.
Yeah. You don't want to waste it on the Patreons.
Yeah.
So people would go down into their cesspools, and they would basically shit in a big pool of shit.
Yeah.
And that would stay there, and then once every week or so, something called a night fertilizer would come in the middle of the night.
He's a man.
Yeah, and he would come collect all the people in whatever
Collect
his
their
like
droppings.
catchment area was. Yeah, his shit,
Yeah.
and they would package it all up, and then it would be shipped to
Package it all up.
Yeah, and used
In
as
parcels.
and used as fertilizer
In
the more agricultural areas just outside London, and that's like the peak of recycling.
Yeah.
That's like as humans we didn't have any waste products because they were all going back into being used to.
Greta Thunberg, this would be porn to her if she was
She'd be
listening.
fucking loving it, right?
Oh, yes.
But then what
Fiddling
happened was
herself
the
asunder.
invention of the water closet, which is basically where people were shitting into water rather than just into more shit.
Yeah.
And then they were emptying that into their cesspools. So, but that's like 10 parts water, 1 part shit.
I liked it when it was all shit.
So they couldn't get the staff to collect because the cesspools filled up so much faster because of all the water going into it.
So the guys wouldn't collect this new shit because they were like shit purists and they're like, well, it's not 100% shit, I don't want it.
No, they would still collect it, but they would have to collect much more frequently, and there was staffing shortages in the shit.
There wasn't people signing up to be the
shit collecting
industry. You had to get 600 points in your leaving cert to get into shit collecting.
Shit collecting.
Not an easy job to get.
You wanted shit collecting from Trinity. So, because of the water closet, there wasn't enough staff, so they all ran out. So then people started just chucking their sewage and their waste products into the river. But then the river started to fucking stink.
Right.
Like, stink. And obviously, Houses of Parliament is right on the river.
Yeah.
And politicians only, like, work on fixing stuff when
it stinks.
When it affects them.
Right.
The most. And they...
So the boys would be coming out for an old strawberry daiquiri. Next thing, they get a whiff of fucking Henry the fucking
whole
plumber's
city
shite.
stank of shit.
Yeah.
And because people didn't know what cholera was, people thought that the reason loads of people was dying is that the great stink was poisonous.
So they were just being like poisoned by the gas.
Yeah, rather than getting cholera from no water treatment at all.
Man, I swear to God, I've thought like I've had shits at time like after about 10 pints of
kill
Guinness,
a dog.
That I was like that I truly to this day believe has like stunted the growth of children and stuff that have gone in after me, and I'm like,
I can get the logic. If lots of people are dying, nobody knows why, and the whole city stinks of shit, you'd be like, oh, fucking 2 and 2 together, fucking stinks, right? And then basically that's how the sewage system in London, a guy called John Bazalgette.
Bazzy J.
Bazzy J.
J Bazzy J.
J Bazzy J. And they, DJ Bazzy J.
DJ Bazzy J. Yeah.
And so he created the sewage system in London, which is pretty much the same sewage system we use today, even though when he made it...
so the sewage system we use today, that's a Bazzy J joint.
Bazzy J joint, yeah.
Right.
And that was when there was 2.5 million people in London, and now there's like 10 million people in London. So they're currently building a new sewage pipe underneath the Thames.
Yeah.
And people know nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
But when the original sewage system was put in, they were like tourist attractions, because in Victorian times people were way better at like talking about shit. They were very like you in that way, where they would just talk about cum and piss and shit all the time.
Are you posing this as a negative, or you're saying that they were kind of bastions of truth?
Well,
and honesty
you're like a
me?
Victorian gentleman.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, I would say. I would say so. I just think you were born in the wrong. If you would have been king in the 1800s.
I like to hit women, that's for sure. And I liked when that was a feather in your cap. When it was taboo not to hit her belt. Anyway, that's going to be cut as well. Please edit this one.
Never.
Do you know there is actually, because now that you're talking about the ship business, I do remember
that got very informative and not very funny for a while.
No, I
don't know why I felt the need. I just found it quite interesting.
About this stuff about the shit.
Yeah.
Well, I think there is something about a hangover that suddenly you're interested in the more kind of
occult.
Yeah.
Black magic stuff.
Yeah, but none of that had
magic with a K.
But that didn't have anything to do with magic or the occult. It was about sewage.
That's not a cult?
No, that's not a cult. You don't know what any words mean, and that's I'm starting to realise that. You are a mirage of an intelligent person.
Yeah.
You are.
I'm getting away with it at all times.
Oh, but speaking of that guy, like the Our Times guy that you're saying that goes like, hello, and going in like this. Lad,
hello, welcome to the...
Yeah, and he's like smart and intellectual. Lad, I got humiliated at the park recently, at the park in West London. I got absolutely intellectually pantsed.
At the park?
Yes, at the park.
What happened? Oh my God, I nearly passed out there.
Such a fool of it. It's unbelievable. So I was walking in the park with a girl.
On like a date of sorts?
No, a friend of mine. And we were walking along, and anyway.
What was his name?
Oh, come on. What? Oh, you're saying I'm gay, right?
But I think it's funny to do that when it's already a bad joke when people go, I was out on a date, and it's like, oh, what's his name?
Yeah.
I like to do it when they've already specified the gender. So like I was with a girl and you go, oh, what was his name? I just think it's silly. Go on, sorry, you were in the park with this fella?
Don't ever say that again. You should have been drowned at birth, honestly. But it would have been
in a cesspool.
It would have been an act of mercy. Just in a bucket.
You
anyway,
got me begging you for
around.
mercy. Yeah. Why won't you release
That was Duffy.
me? She got kidnapped and raped.
Did she?
Yeah.
Fuck, why? Where? I want to go into my park story. Do we have to go further into the Duffy thing you said? Because I really don't want to go any further into that.
We'll do it on the Patreon.
You've opened that door, but I just want to close it straight again.
I mean, that's what they did when they kidnapped her.
Oh, stop!
Did I tell you
You're
about
an instrument of the devil today?
Because I spoke, it came up on a podcast ages ago that I did, and it was funny. I went to meet this agent, the one that I didn't end up signing with, and
By the way, just 1 second, we better get back to my old man story.
we will. And I went in to have this initial meeting with him, and it was so evident that he'd listened to 3 minutes of my most recent podcast. Because I walked in and he went, "It's crazy about Duffy, isn't it?" Because it had come up. It was like the first thing we spoke about on the most recent podcast, but I'd recorded it 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
So it wasn't at the front of my mind at all. And I was like, "What?" And he went, "Oh, on the podcast." And again, to link it back to aggressively bad networking, he was like, "I'm going to listen to his podcast and then I'll bring something up that was on the podcast." But he had listened to the first 3 minutes and just went, "Oh, fucking Duffy, yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, let's not have this meeting."
But he wanted to talk about the kidnapping, rape of a
He
woman.
thought that would be a good way for us to connect as potential colleagues.
There is something about you that's like, how do I please this man? I'll bring up a rape and he'll be singing
Yeah,
from
singing
the
like a donkey.
mountaintops. Yeah, he'll be licking his lips. He'll be the cat who got the cream. Listen now,
You were in the park and you got humiliated by this
I
gay
got
fella?
absolute. He wasn't gay.
It was a woman?
I don't know. No, shut up. Fuck off. Fuck off. I mean it. Out. Jump off that balcony. Gone. Listen, I was in the park and I got. This is one of the most. I got humiliated. So I was walking along with this girl, a good friend of mine. We were walking along and
What's his name?
Aula, shut the fuck up. You bag of dog shit. You portable bag of dog shit. You're like if a pile of dog shit became sentient and made a show about going to see a play. Is that a big pile of dog shit? Yeah, I saw a play. Has the dog shit gained consciousness? I didn't know that could happen. Yeah, apparently it can now. It goes by Vittorio, that big fucking pile of dog shit.
The tour has been extended. Buy tickets.
If everyone could ask for refunds for his tour, every single person, think how happy it would make me. Anyway, so the story, right?
You're in the park with this?
I'm in the park with a good friend of mine.
What's his name? Go on.
No, I'm not saying I'm never talking.
No.
That's the last thing I said on this podcast. The start of the story. No, you've made this for yourself now. You've made the poster for the podcast. You've done all the stuff. And now you've got no one to do it with. Can I say the story?
Yeah.
I was in the park with a good friend of mine who is a girl. What's his name? Shut up. We're walking along. Stop laughing. I don't want this to make you happy at all. What's wrong with you? Look at you. You look like a child on a bouncing castle. What the fuck is wrong with you?
A bouncing castle?
Yeah, a bounce.
Yeah, it's a bouncy castle.
And what do you do on it? Do you roll? No, you bounce. Bouncing.
It's bouncy.
Huh?
Bouncy castle.
Yeah,
not
bouncy
bouncing. It's not bouncing castle. Nobody says bouncing castle.
I just did say it. Is this the hill you want to die on? Bouncy
So
versus
you're
bouncing?
in the park.
I'm in the park. Old man. I'm with a friend. Old man comes up.
What's his name?
I'll tell you what.
Old man. Go on.
And I mean this. You're genuine, and I mean it, the most sincere way. You're the most rotten bag of pointlessness. There's no reason for you, in every sense of the word. You're a waste of flesh, intellect, everything. Old man, park.
That's all we've got time for on the public episode.
It fucking better not be. It fucking better not be. Is that gone on that long? Do we have to go to Patreon
I mean,
now?
it'd be really funny if you only tell this story on the Patreon now.
Well, now I just have to tell it on the Patreon, isn't it?
Well, we can do a slightly longer public episode if you want to do it on the public episode.
I wanted to tell this story for so long now. This can't be nice for them to listen to. This has to be awful.
Yeah.
Why are your eyes watering with delight? That's how much you're laughing. You're crying laughing. I've never been more miserable. You're hungover, yet and now I'm hungover with your essence. I have become poisoned by you. You got poisoned by alcohol. I've been poisoned by you.
Yeah.
You poisoned my consciousness, my brain, my ability to experience joy and happiness.
Yeah.
Can we get? Will I tell the story?
Yeah, go for it. On the public?
Yeah, I don't know. Shall we go to the Patreon now?
It's up to you. It's entirely up to you.
Right, it's going on the public. It's going on the public. Fuck you.
You guys better, because we could have been nasty there and clickbaited you into joining the Patreon, so you better join the Patreon anyway. Go on.
Yeah. So I was walking along in the park with this girl. She's a friend of mine. And if you say, even to make the joke, oh, who is he? It's a friend. I've said friend. So it's not even funny. Right?
I haven't said, who is he?
But his friend. So the old lad comes over. The old man comes over to us and he points at these pebbles on the ground. He points at the pebbles on the ground.
Uh-huh.
And he just said, he's like, do you know how these pebbles got here? He said to me, he said,
yeah.
do you know how these pebbles got here?
In front of the woman?
In front of the woman.
Yeah.
And I was like, evolution? I said, evolution, I don't know. And he was like, no. But evolution is technically right. Evolution could be technically right answer for anything. So if you said...
I mean, it's like, I don't think it's evolution that put the pebbles there.
But overall, isn't it why we're all here? And everything is around because of evolution. So it technically is right. Don't take the old man's side. Why would you? Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I said evolution. He's like, no. He said, what? He said, well, what happened was that while the North Pole and the South Pole were forming, he said, all of this here was underwater, you see. So this was all the ocean. So these pebbles are from the floor of the ocean. This was the floor of the ocean. And again, I was like, this lad could never have had sex.
That doesn't sound right.
What?
That doesn't sound right. What park were you in?
Over in West London.
Okay.
Yeah. So he says this is the floor of the ocean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this guy's he's trying to humiliate me here in front of the girl. And then that's not enough. So then he goes, you didn't know that, did you? And I had to be like, no. I've been walking around like a fool. I thought I was walking in a park, but I've clearly been the Little Mermaid dancing along the floor of the ocean. And then I sort of go...
Did you just start going...
And then I swear to God, he leans into me then and he just goes, and this is in front of you one as well, and he goes, well, now that you know that you're walking on the floor of the ocean, he said, watch out for the sharks. And he just walked off. And I can't tell you how, but like, it felt like he meant Jews. It felt racist. It felt like he was being racist. He felt like he likes the pebbles because they've always been fermented, you know? And then I was like to the girl, I think that was racist. She's like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, it was. And she was like, no, it was. You could tell she wanted to go with him.
She wanted to go with the old man?
Yeah.
Is that why she's with you? Fetish for kind of older, balding men? Thanks for listening to the public episode of the podcast.
If you were to kill yourself, I believe there would be celebrations.
We will continue on Patreon. Sign up or Mike will kill himself.
I will anyway, but still sign up because the funeral will need to be paid for.
Yeah, I mean, that is what it is. Our Patreon funds the funeral costs of our careers. Thank you very much.
Oh, fuck.
What's wrong?
No, send them off to the Patreon.
Enjoy. See you on the Patreon. Patreon.com/parenting. Goodbye.
Parenting.